know that symbol. That's a Phrygian cap. It stands for freedom, and that's a Masonic eye. Now those two come together in only one place. What's that?
What up, y'all? It's the Dot Connector, and man, I miss those good old days on YouTube when you used to be able to get on the platform and you can post a video about any topic that you wanted to post about. You can share any clip in that video that you wanted to share, and you can basically say whatever you wanted to say. You never had to worry about being demonetized for a bunch of stupid reasons. Now you have a lot of creators out here who have to censor themselves. They basically have to come up with code words in order to express to their audience what they're really trying to say. And at this point, we know that YouTube really doesn't care about what the truth is. They only care about what the talking points are that the mainstream media uses. So if the mainstream media reports it as truth, even if it's clear that it's not the truth, YouTube will still side with mainstream media. So I miss those days when they didn't change the algorithm to basically put mainstream media above every single creator. They changed their algorithm to change how search works. They changed their algorithm to change how the homepage works, how everything works, so that you will see mainstream stories before you see a regular creator. You will see a story from MSNBC, from Fox News, from CNN, from any of these mainstream sources before you see a regular creator. And that's just sad. Back in 2015, there was truth content all over this platform. Now, a majority of those content creators have been totally banned off of this platform. And for those of us who are still here and who have survived the purge, we have been totally shadow banned, making it extremely difficult for us to reach anybody because the algorithm has been programmed to not suggest our content, to not send out notifications to our subscribers and those who hit the bell and turn on all notifications. There are people who come to my videos weeks after I posted it and say, I never got a notification for this. I have the bell turned on, I'm subscribed, all of that, and I still never received a notification. I had to literally come to your channel to check to see if you had any new content posted. But as you know, this isn't just happening on YouTube. This is happening on all major social media platforms, from Instagram to TikTok to Facebook. Any platform you can think of is probably happening on, right? People are being shadow banned. People are being taken offline. And this isn't just happening in America. This is happening all over the world, right? Because we're seeing a big push by big government and tech companies all over the world to silence the people while they quietly take over. And the direction that things are going in right now, it seems to be that things are going to get a lot worse before they ever get better. Recently, the Heritage Foundation has used the FOIA request, the Freedom of Information Act, to expose internal FBI documents which flag key words that content creators use all of the time. Words such as red pill, blue pill, and based. The document, which is titled FBI Domestic Terrorism Reference Guide, is used to target individuals they believe will plan a violent uprising or will plan to do so in the near future. That sounds a lot like pre-crimes, don't it? If you think I'm playing, take a look at this clip right here.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. So is America's bad boy. Everyone already knows that I'm dangerous. Yeah, don't laugh. I'm the Jim Morrison of talk show hosts, and Kudlow's my backdoor man. But you know, you might be dangerous too, according to the FBI. And you don't even have to be an angry parent at a school board meeting. You just have to use words. Yeah, it turns out new FBI documents released this week through a FOIA request reveal the Bureau uses internet slang to seek out violent extremism online. It's a mix of odd terms now linked to, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremism. Words like based, LARPing, and red-pilled. In other words, they're terms that could be used in a context that don't relate at all to race or extremist views. For example, they define based as someone who's converted to racist ideology. So I guess they must be keeping a close eye on Joy Reid, right? But really, doesn't based mean you're based in facts? You're grounded in logic, not wokeness? Perhaps that's why it's being targeted? Then you got LARPing, which stands for live action role play. You know, those nerds who dress up as knights and wizards until a jock walking through the park stuffs them in a trash can. But the FBI says LARPing is a term used by extremists to accuse others of not being as extreme. And I get it. My old manager at Medieval Times used to accuse me of it when I wouldn't wear a codpiece in his hot tub. Then there's red-pilled. The term obviously came from the classic film The Matrix, but now it's a metaphor for seeing behind the curtain and uncovering reality. But now becoming red-pilled indicates the adoption of racist, anti-Semitic, or fascist beliefs. So how did they get there? I don't know, but I guess it's a good thing that I got red-pilled way back when, and it wasn't from The Matrix, but the facts of life.
I am facing it.
How? By cutting Gail's classes, standing her up. You can run as far as you want, but Gail is still going to die.
The greatest moment in television history, Gail is going to die. And she did. Because that's a fact of life. How could that not change you? It changed me. But you can see the danger here, right? Sure, there's extremists out there who might say they've been red-pilled, but some of them also play soccer. It's the mistake the media loves to play, and now the FBI does too. They now define threats by the weakest of connections. So now you're guilty by word association. Maybe that's why Biden can't pronounce anything.
The FBI Domestic Terrorism Reference Guide is full of many ridiculous claims about what some of these words actually mean, but you'll never know how ridiculous these claims get until you start analyzing the document for yourself to see what the FBI actually has to say.
The FBI Domestic Terrorism Reference Guide claims that people who are planning to execute an attack and those who have already terrorized use a certain vocabulary that originates from online activity. The FBI's reference guide defines Chad as a, quote, race-specific term used to describe an idealized version of a male who is very successful at gaining sexual and romantic attention from women. Stacy is defined as, quote, an idealized version of a female who is successful at gaining sexual and romantic attention from men, chooses Chads over incels. Normies and blue pill are lumped together in their glossary and defined as, quote, divisive terms used to describe normal people. Red pill and black pill are listed together for their definitions, stating, quote, red pill refers to a belief shared by many online communities that society is corrupt and that the believer is a victim of this corruption. Black pill refers to a belief that this corruption can only be changed through massive societal reconstructing, often including violence. So the FBI is claiming that these terms are sexist, divisive, and that the people who use these terms online want to commit violent acts to change society, therefore classifying them as domestic terrorists. Later on in the document, the FBI defines terms that are associated with, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremism. Based is described as, quote, a term used to refer to someone who has been converted to racist ideology. Red pill is redefined as, quote, taking the red pill or becoming red-pilled indicated the adoption of racist, anti-Semitic, or fascist beliefs. Great replacement is said to be, quote, a term that refers to the belief in a conspiracy to replace the white race in Western culture through high non-white birth rates, mass immigration, and other measures.
So if you've been connecting dots for as long as I have, then you're probably not even surprised by any of this, as we knew that this is the direction that they want to go in. The moment that they started this war on terror, back in 2001, I won't say any more than that, but back when they started this war on terror, a lot of us already knew that this was eventually going to lead to us becoming the terrorists, to them focusing their target and their aim on so-called domestic terrorism. right? Because when you have a war on terrorists, then you have a war on the boogeyman. Anybody can be a terrorist. This is why over this past decade, we have seen the US military do many drills right here on our own land, because eventually they're coming after the American people. They're not just preparing for war against another country on American soil. They're preparing for war against the American people, which is anybody they claim to be a domestic terrorist for whatever reason they decide to come up with. And even if you never did anything at all, they can still claim that you have the potential to do it in the future. But that's all I have for y'all today. So hit me up in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified anytime I upload a new video. And please share this content with as many people as you know as possible. And if you would like to support the channel, continue to watch this video until the very end. This way I can get enough watch hours to get this channel monetized. I love you, family. Give your life to Yeshua. That's Jesus for those who don't know. And I'll holla at y'all later. Peace.